Hey everybody, JD Man here on GS Day. Got a nice day. It was 34 this morning on the way to work. A nice balmy 55 now. We got a big snowstorm coming though Friday night into the weekend. So figured I'd get the GS out and ride it. Hey, what I want to talk about, went to the IMS show in DC this past weekend, and I learned a valuable lesson. I took the Super Duty, and do not take a truck, a four-wheel drive truck like that, 3/4 ton, to DC, because you are not going to find a place to put it. I mean, we spent hours. Finally, the hotel, their garage was only 6'8", not big enough. They said, "Yeah, you got to park it at the Kennedy Center then, at their parking garage." They had 8 foot. So I took it there, and they said, "Oh, you can't leave it here overnight. It has to be out here by midnight." So I was like, fine, at least we found a place to park it, and we went to the show then. And I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time there because of the time I spent looking for a place to freaking park. But the bad thing was there really wasn't a whole lot there, and it's disappointing. I figured I'd try DC this year instead of going to Cleveland. We went to Cleveland last year because there just wasn't much there, 2017 was last year's at Cleveland. I skipped 18, and I mean it dropped big time. I mean, in 17 Ducati was there, BMW was there, everybody. And there's last year there was hardly anything at Cleveland, so I thought, and the vendors were pretty thin, so I thought, well, we'll go to DC. And there was a local dealer there that had Ducatis, but Ducati itself was not there. No Street Fighter. They had a V4R there, and a new Diavel, but and the new 1260 Multistrada, the top of the line one. Yamaha didn't have any presence. Where there was a couple bikes there. The Tenere 700, it was there. I got to sit on that. Like I said, I'm about 6'3", and I flat-footed that no problem. I mean, I'd say if you're around 5'11", you could probably still flat-foot that thing, because I had a pretty good bend of the knee, with how it was. But it looked like a nice bike. They said, I think April or May this year for a release here in the U.S. Harley was there, of course. They had the Bronx and their Pan America there under glass, and I don't know, there's something, it says styling prototypes. But on that Harley, on the front forks down at the bottom, there are like a solenoid with a small wire going to it. I don't know if that's probably for this electronic suspension. And for an ADV bike, that right there is going to get knocked off. If that bike goes off-road, that's going to get knocked off. They need to do something. They need to do like everybody else and put everything up on the top of the forks. And another thing I saw was the coil pack sticking out the side of the engine on the left side here. That's going to go in a bad, you take it down. That fairing, I don't know. I know the pictures I saw, everything I've seen so far, on the internet, I hated it. But now, looking at it in person, I'm torn. I don't know, and it may be because that particular bike was in the olive gold, like my V-Rod, and I just love that color. And yeah, the fairing was that color, and so I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, that front end is very controversial. It's hard to really put a finger on in this, you know, if I like it or not now, you know. But at least I've moved away from hating it, you know. Seeing it in person, you know, made it a little bit better. But you know, hopefully, you know, like I says, that it is the prototype, and like that deal with the suspension needs to be taken care of. The instrument panel, you know, that big TFT screen there, that looks, you know, it wasn't on or anything, but it's a nice size, I'll say that. And if it's something like what's on the live wire, that touch screen, yeah, that's pretty nice. So, and the Bronx, that was blue, that was in a blue. Yeah, that looked nice. The wife liked that. She said, yeah, that she really don't like Harley either, but she said you could buy that one. It's like, well, I do plan on taking it for a ride. We got to see what it's like first. But you know, Suzuki had their presence, Kawasaki had a big presence, Honda had a huge presence. Indian was there also. But like I said, no Ducati. I don't think I saw KTM. I did, you know, there was a 790 Adventure there, somebody had. They had the BDR there. You know, like I said, BMW, nothing that I saw. And like I said, there really wasn't much there. There wasn't, and the vendors, there's not a whole lot of vendors, but Revzilla was there, but they didn't have hardly any inventory, any stock there. A lot of people I've seen commented on that. Cycle Gear had, you know, their usual, you know, they had a lot of stuff there. But the place where I spent my most time was called JT Motorsports. They're out of Frederick, Maryland, and they are a climb dealer, full line. And I went there and got to talk to them. And you know, I've been leaning toward, I want to get a Gore-Tex jacket this year, and I've been leaning towards the Latitude. But I think Mike, I think was his name. He's like the parts manager or something. He spent a lot of time talking, and I give him credit. I said, you know, I'm not ready to buy today. I'm just, you know, trying stuff on and looking, and I said I'm more leaning towards the Latitude. But he got me in, you know, a Badlands Pro, and was explaining to me all the features of the jacket, showing me everything, you know, stuff that I've never heard of, you know, or, you know, maybe read it but didn't know what they were talking about. You know, Revzilla usually gives a damn good description of stuff, but there was stuff there he was telling me that I had never heard, you know, and he explained it. And I'll tell you, they got a customer, man. I told him that, you know, here late March, April, when I'm ready to buy, I'm going to make that 2-hour drive down there, and I'm going to buy that off of them, you know. And we were talking about the Climb's new airbag vest. Probably going to get one of them too. I was leaning towards Alpine Stars because I got the Missiles race suit, but you know, Alpine Stars was there. I was talking to them about their new universal airbag setup, and it won't do race. It won't do track. So the climb will. So I think that's what I'm just going to go with the climb. Not worried about hooking up to the Alpine Stars. At least I'll have something. So, because Alpine Stars does not make an adventure jacket that'll take the race. That'll, you know, their street vests will do street. The race vest will do street and race, but the connections are different, and the jacket has to be made for that. So if the jacket isn't made for the race vest, you can't put it in, period. So that kind of turned me off from that, and it's about $300 less for the climb too. So, but I'm going to learn more. I got to do more. I was more focused on the jacket, and you know, I got to learn more about that because it's not really officially released yet either. So, but guys, we gotta support these shows. We don't want to see them go by the wayside. You know, hopefully we gotta let these companies, vendors, and all that know, you know, that we're supporting them. So if we want to keep having them, it'd be nice. You know, they got those nice big shows in Europe. I'm hoping we can still do that here. So this is JD, man. I'm gonna say out of here. Peace.